This is how to track your weight loss progress properly so that these don't stress you out anymore. Let's be honest, at some point in time you have stepped on the scales after having a good day where you've hit your steps, you've eaten really well, you've been really active, and these bloody things say that your weight's actually gone up. And you've probably ended up feeling pretty demotivated, which kind of makes you want to chuck them out the window. Now, that's a bit of a danger to passers-by, but it's also a danger to your weight loss journey. Now, there's 3 ways that I like to track weight loss progress, and the scales are actually number 3. And I'm going to talk about exactly how I use them so it's no longer stressful. But the first way I like to track progress is through progress photos. Now, progress photos, when you first do them, as you'll see here for me, this wasn't a great experience. The first one you take, it might knock your confidence just that tiny bit because it can be a little bit of an eye-opener. But the thing is, when you start to get back into shape, when you first see those visual changes, your motivation goes through the roof. And the great thing about it is that it means that you can see those changes a little bit more objectively. So there's a real advantage in taking progress photos in a structured fashion. The way that I would do this is I would take a front-facing photo, I would take a side photo, and then a back photo as well. And then what I would do is I would take those either weekly or fortnightly, and then I would compare them, and you can just put them together. A simple app like Layout's really handy on your phone, it's free. So that can be a really good way of comparing front photo to front photo, side to side, and so on and so forth. The second way that I like to track progress is through measurements. Now, everyone does this a little bit differently. I think if you're going to just do one measurement, you should probably do your waist measurement, because that's the area that most of us want to lose a significant amount of weight around, because let's be honest, when we gain weight, that's unfortunately where it tends to go. It's not like we get to pick. And a lot of the time, your waist measurement will move quite a lot as you lose weight. Something like an arm measurement can be super useful, but the reality is your arms just aren't that big, or certainly I wish mine were bigger. But the point is that you're going to only see relatively subtle changes. So for most people, if they were going to do just one measurement, I would recommend that they do a waist measurement. And what that does is it gives you a number, just another metric. So you're not completely reliant on what the scales will say, because of course the scales can fluctuate for lots of reasons. Because if you're seeing visual changes in your progress photos, and you see your measurements change in the right direction because you've lost a centimetre off your waist, even if the scales haven't gone down all that much that week, you're still going to stay nice and motivated. So that's another way of tracking progress that can be really helpful. We've now got 2 ways to track progress that are completely independent of the scales. Now that's all well and good, but if you're in your own fat loss phase or weight loss phase right now, and you are struggling to know how to structure your nutrition to actually lose weight in the first place, then you might want to check out the description for my free fat loss guide, which is going to take you through exactly how I would structure out a diet to help you lose weight at a good pace and to stay motivated. And it touches on these 3 ways of tracking progress. Now, let's come on to the third way of tracking progress, which is of course revisiting the dreaded scales. Now, these can be super helpful, but only if you follow a properly structured approach to using them. This is where time after time I've seen people caught out because they're doing a once monthly weigh-in or a once weekly weigh-in. And I've had so many clients come in the door who have a terrible relationship with the scales, and we've made this one shift, and all of a sudden they have a much better relationship with the scales. And this is controversial, or at least counterintuitive, and that is to weigh yourself every single day. Now, the reason this works is it becomes less exciting and there's less pressure on the scales emotionally. You don't get to the end of the week hoping for a really big loss, and then if you don't get it, feel super disappointed. And it also accounts for the day-to-day fluctuations in weight. So what I recommend doing is weighing yourself daily or as frequently as you possibly can, and take a weekly average. So if I started my diet today and I was dieting for the next 7 days, I would then have 7 days worth of data and I would take the average weight from that. So that's my week 1 average. And then what I do the following week, from the Monday to the Sunday, is I do exactly the same. I weigh myself every day or as much as I can, and I take the average from that. And I compare those averages to see what my rate of progress is. So not looking at the day-to-day ups and downs, which will vary, because Most of us have some slightly higher calorie days and some slightly lower calorie days. Even if our average calories across the week are spot on, it's normal for that to undulate, and weight will also undulate with that. So having these weekly averages to compare from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3 is going to show you exactly the trajectory you're on, and it's going to show you that rate of weight loss really, really clearly. That is a proper approach to tracking your weight. Not just doing it once a week, certainly not just doing it once every 2 weeks or once a month. And it also teaches you to be less reactive, but also a little more aware of what causes the scales to spike, which makes you less stressed. So those are my 3 ways of tracking progress. If you want to see how I'm approaching my own weight loss phase and how I'm planning to drop 8 kilos over 8 weeks, then you might want to jump onto this video and have a little look. And if you are on your own weight loss journey right now and you do want a little bit of a hand, a bit more structure to know how to structure out your nutrition and approach your weight loss, then just jump into the description below and there's a link for my free fat loss plan right there for you.